Welcome back. Okay, so continuing on, let's go ahead and try a test yourself. So go ahead and try to print this cute character to the console using what you know about escape sequences now. Just keep in mind this right here. This is a backslash character. This is a / character. As a hint, only one of these characters needs to be escaped. Okay? So you can go ahead and pause the video now and give your best attempt to try to print this out. And once you've tried, then you can go ahead and when you think you have the answer, go ahead and resume the video and you can see what the answer is. So I'll let you pause it. Okay, so this is what the answer is. Yeah, there's so many backslashes. It's a lot of backslashes. Let's break it down. I'm going to try to underline each of the backslashes, each bit that is responsible for printing a character. So the first thing we wanted to print was a double quote. So if we go back, we have a double quote here. And remember, that's a special character. And so we need to escape the job of the double quote. And so we use a backslash in front of it so that it is not closing our string, but it's instead printing the double quote character. And then we have a backslash. So that's the left arm of the guy right here. Yeah, the left arm. So, and then we have a parentheses. The parentheses is fine as a character. You can just print the parentheses literally. So here's our parentheses. And then we have a single quote. So there's our single quote, backslash single quote. And then we have an O. There's our little O. And then another single quote, backslash single quote. Parentheses, right parentheses. /, that one's fine on its own. It doesn't need a backslash. And then the last exclamation mark, this is his right hand, I guess. I don't know, right. You know, it's like he's doing this. He's like, ah, wait, ah. He's a kind of a crab. So his right hand, wait, this is right hand in the picture. His right hand right here, that's needs to be escaped again. So there's our backslash. And then just keep in mind that we still have our double quotes to start the string and our double quotes to close the string at the end. So we need to actually put the text inside the println inside those double quotes, otherwise the computer is like, I don't know what you're doing, you need to put a string in here. So that's how we make it a string. Okay, so there's the that's the solution. Okay, so here's my string slide. Maybe I should have put this earlier on, but it's okay. We'll get to it now. So strings. What are strings? I've been using this word a bunch. In computer science, this is not a Java-specific term. This is generally used to talk about text in any computer science language. Any sequence of characters is going to be called a string. And you can think of it like as a string of characters. That's where this word came from. In Java, other languages are going to use other kinds of ways to enclose strings. In Java, string literals, which means like what is like when you want to print some particular text out, that's called a string literal. Going back to our previous cases, these are all string literals. It's literally the text that's inside those double quotes. In Java, we use double quotes. So double quotes are used to enclose a string literal. So, for example, this character and this character. This is a string literal. AP Computer Science with double quotes around it is a string literal. Go away. The argument of system.out.println or system.out.print, those are our two tools for printing to the console right now, are typically string literals. You might have some extra stuff in there too. We'll talk about other things you can print, other things you can put inside of the parentheses. Remember argument, this is talking about what goes inside the parentheses when you have your system.out.println, right? So it's going to say system.out.println over here, parentheses, the argument is whatever goes inside. So that's what's going to get printed. Okay. Okay, another little odds and ends bit. We're going to work with strings a lot in this class because strings are, kind of like the tool that you're going to use to print out anything, any output you want to the console. And we're going to learn how to kind of manipulate some strings, and there's usually several AP questions that have you doing some string manipulations. So like how do you cut a string in half, or how do you take a string and alternate the characters, blah blah blah. So there's how do you know if a string is a palindrome? That's the same forward as it is backwards. So there's all kinds of computer sciencey tricks you can do with text and that kind of get at what strings are. Now here, I'm going to move myself back down. Okay. All right. So comments. That's what this slide is about. Comments are there for you and me. So they're there for humans reading code. They're not there for the computer at all. In fact, the computer is going to ignore. Go away. Hopefully you joined Slack. The computer is going to ignore anything that's got these 2 forward slashes in front of it, and it's going to ignore anything that is in between a / asterisk. This is the asterisk symbol, and an asterisk / It's going to be multiple lines. So why would you write code that the computer ignores? Well, it's for you to explain something to another programmer, so someone else is going to read your code. And a lot of the time, we're not writing code just for ourselves. We're writing it either for me, right? Like you're writing a program and turning it into your teacher. But later on, if you go to work at a company, you're writing it on a team and you've got other people to read it and review it. And so when you write code that's particularly confusing, that's okay as long as you can explain it, and usually comments are the way to explain code that's particularly tricky if it's not very intuitive. Also, there are ways to generate kind of general documents that your code might might want to include with your code. We'll talk about that a little bit later. It's called JavaDoc, and it's kind of a nice way to get information about what your program does out to users. Okay. So here's an example of a comment. So this is how you might use a single line comment to explain a block of code. I've got 2 forward slashes over here, and then the computer is going to ignore everything to the right of those 2 forward slashes. This computes the area of a sphere with radius r. So that would be like an example comment for some method that does compute the area of a sphere. So this would be a pretty short method because you can do it in one line. But anyway, that's an example of a single line comment. And a multiple line comment might look something like this. This is also called a program header. You might have your author name at the top, followed by the assignment, title, date, and a description of what the program does. These are all multi-line comment, or these are all different ways you could comment your code. In fact, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pause the video here, and then we'll do another video where I show you how to create a template for IntelliJ, so that whenever you build create a new class, it's going to auto-generate this program header for you. So that'll be our next video in just a minute.